Good morning everybody and welcome. This morning it's a very wet, cold morning. I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night, so I sound like I have been partying, if only lockdown wasn't here. Anyway, excuse me for my little tickly throat. I'm going to show you how to make some stuffing today. I always make my stuffing in advance and then I slice it up and portion it up so I don't have to worry about making stuffing around Christmas time. It's one of the things in our house that everybody loves, and I've tried all sorts of different kinds of stuffings and everybody just wants the very simple plain stuffing, which is kind of a win-win because it's so simple and so easy and it's not fancy. Now if you want to do fancy ones, you can add all sorts of things to this basic mixture. Like you could add some sausage meat, some pine nuts, some cranberries. Dried cranberries are beautiful in a stuffing. However, I'm going to show you how to do the one that everybody in this house loves, and it's absolutely simple. So in my frying pan, I am going to melt slowly a pound of butter, which is about, I think it's like 454 grams or something like that. And I'm going to then chop up my onions. So I've already peeled my onion. I hope you can see, I'm trying to get this angle and this angle in here. I'm just going to slice the onions lengthways first. Video recording Sheena chopping her finger off. And then I'm going to go down the opposite angle, and that is how you get a nice, really fine cut on your onion, okay? So I have already chopped up 5 onions. So I'm going to make a big batch of stuffing. If you don't want to make a big batch, just reduce this to just 1 onion and reduce down accordingly the amount of butter and the amount of breadcrumbs that you use, okay? So I have a bowl here and I've already chopped my 5 onions in here. The other thing I have is my breadcrumbs, and I have 400 gram packets, so I have 1600 grams of breadcrumbs here. I just bought them in the shop and I had them in the freezer, so I've just taken them out. You don't even need to defrost them to make this. So I've just popped them into a big bowl here. The other thing I'm going to add is mixed herbs, and these are just dried herbs. I've tried the fresh herbs. People in this house like just the old-fashioned dried herbs. So I have mixed herbs in here, and I'm putting in 30 grams, which seems like a lot, but we have a lot of breadcrumbs here, okay? So I'm just going to mix them all together with a big spoon so that you get the breadcrumbs evenly dispersed throughout the bowl, if that makes sense. So today I took down my fall decorations, which I know probably seems early for you North Americans because you keep them up for Thanksgiving, and we don't do Thanksgiving here, unfortunately, because I think it's a lovely thing to give thanks, be grateful for our lives, especially in times like this when you know you could tend to slip into despair because life is not as we know it. Anyway, I'm getting ready to start taking down the Christmas decorations from the attic, and so I have to clear some space. So that's kind of, you get an idea of looking through your bowl to see if your breadcrumbs are mixed through nicely. I am going to pause the video at this stage because it's going to take a while for the butter to melt down, and then I'll come back to you. So our butter has melted completely over here, and I'm just going to add my onions into the butter, and I'm going to gently soften them. You're not necessarily cooking them through, you're just softening the onions, and the butter is also going to act as a binding agent to bring all your breadcrumbs together. Okay, so just simmer your onions there for about 5 minutes until they just get a little bit soft. So guys, that's the onions now. The crunch has just gone out of them. I decided what I really needed was a nice strong cup of coffee. So hopefully that'll wake me up a little bit. So I'm just going to bring the onions over here. Well, actually, sorry. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the onions and the melted butter into the breadcrumbs. Hope you can see this properly from this angle. There we go. Just set that aside. And I'm going to just try and mix them all together. Now, there's no way that just that butter is going to combine all those breadcrumbs. So the thing I have started to add to mine is some chicken stock. Because when you think about it, years ago we would have always stuffed the chicken. They put the stuffing inside the chicken, so there would have been nice flavour coming from the chicken into the stuffing. So in the last couple of years I've just started adding one of these little chicken stock pots. I have about a half a litre of water here. This is the kind of thing that you'll get to figure out as you go along how much you need. I have quite a lot of breadcrumbs here, so I may need a litre. But if you mix up just a half a litre first and then add it slowly, hoping that the stock cube will actually melt. But add it slowly to your breadcrumbs and then you'll get an idea what consistency you want, okay? So I'm just going to mix this through here first, try and get the butter mixed in first. And the other thing I wanted to just mention to you guys, I don't know if you have thought about, if you're with me and you want to, you know, try and get as much stocked in your freezer before Christmas as you can, I've decided I need to actually defrost my freezer first. So that's another job for today. And another tip for organizing your freezer. I have one of these big chest freezers and you go to find anything and you know it's just unorganized chaos. So in the last couple of years what I've started to do was use my big, you know, the hard shopping bags, plastic bags, and I organize my freezer by shopping bag. Does that make sense? So I put meat in one shopping bag, say vegetables in one shopping bag, and that kind of way, so that whenever I need to get something, it's not a big rummage through the whole freezer, and I can find stuff. So I hope that tip helps some of you. So now I'm going to add my chicken stock here. Do you know what I'm going to do first? I'm actually going to just pop this into the microwave because this is not melting. So forgive me. I'll be back in a second. Here we go, that's better. It's all melted now. So I'm just going to pour that in through the breadcrumb mixture and give this another big stir. This is a real stirring week that we're having, between stirring puddings and stirring mincemeat mixture. The next thing I'm going to show you guys how to make, and this is actually great for me because I'm getting all my work done early because I'm making these videos. So thank you for watching. I hope you've had a chance to hit that subscribe button. Sometimes people think that you have to pay for that, but you don't. It's free. So the more subscribers I have, then I have a chance of earning a little money from YouTube. So that would be nice, just to get a little bit of return, from doing these videos. It would be a bonus. I actually really enjoy making them anyway, but it would be a really nice bonus. So if you haven't hit the subscribe button, go ahead and do that, and tell your friends to hit the subscribe button. There's a running joke in my family to see who has hit the subscribe button and who hasn't. Anyway, by now I think they all have. Okay, so that's the breadcrumb all mixed up, and that's everything done. The next thing you want to do is have your loaf tin, and I have lined mine here with these little loaf tin liners, and you basically just fill it up as full as you can and pack it down so there's no air pockets. Okay, I probably will get about 4 loaf tins out of this, and I'm going to go ahead and bake it today. You can see that this is not a very wet mixture, but it's not dry either. Okay, so that's what you're going for. Just a nice, when I pat it down, it actually sticks, you know. Or if you wanted to make a stuffing ball, you could wet your hands and do that with your stuffing and bake them in little balls either. I just find this a less time consuming way of doing it, and you have great portion control, because once this is cooked and set and cooled, you can slice it up and lay it flat on a tray and pop it into the freezer so that it doesn't all stick together. Okay, so that's, see how much I'm pressing down here to get it a nice compact loaf, because that helps when it comes to the cutting time. The more firm and compact it is, okay? Sometimes I just use my hands just to give it a really good firm push, okay? So the next thing you want to do is put a little bit of greaseproof paper on the top, just like that, and then a little piece of tin foil just to cover it over, okay? That's just to protect it from burning in the oven. So I'm just going to pop this into my oven for 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. I'll turn it around halfway through, about 180 degrees, and when that's finished, I will show you guys. The poor dog hates when I open the oven, has to move. So I'm going to crack on and fill the rest of these and pop them into the oven. So guys, I managed to get 3 loaves of stuffing. So I'm thinking to myself, Christmas Day, St. Stephen's Day, and New Year's Day. So I have 3 meals prepared that need stuffing. And here we are. I just wanted to show you, I don't know if you can see that it's not even, it's barely changed color. So that's why I said just pale golden. It's starting to brown a little bit at the sides, but I don't want it to dry out, because the potato dries out, it's not good. So I'm just gonna, it's firm to touch as well. So I'm just gonna let it cool down completely. And then I'm just going to slice it up into portions, lay it on a flat tray with greaseproof paper, stick it in the freezer, and when it's frozen, I'll pop it into Ziploc bags, and that's me sorted. My stuffing is done. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. God bless. See you soon.